stuffed feelings. In a quiet suburb of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Miller family was preparing for their traditional Thanksgiving dinner. The dining table had been extended with 2 awkwardly misaligned leaves, and Grandma Ruth was polishing the silverware with the intensity of a forensic scientist. "I swear, if someone eats mashed potatoes with a plastic fork again, I'm cutting them out of the will," she muttered, inspecting a slightly dull spoon with suspicion. Patricia Miller, mother and self-declared general of all holidays, bustled around the kitchen. She had 3 calendars, paper, digital, and Alexa, all synced to the master plan labeled Operation Turkey 2025. Cranberry sauce? Done. Green bean casserole? Assembled. Sweet potatoes awaiting marshmallow topping. Where's Rachel? Rachel Miller, 28, daughter and the family's resident black sheep, was at that moment climbing into her battered Prius with her boyfriend Miles. Miles, lean, witty, and a stand-up comic from Seattle, was about to meet her family for the first time. "So we're driving 8 hours to argue with people you haven't seen since the Capitol incident?" he asked, adjusting his ironically oversized beanie. Rachel laughed. "That was Uncle Stu, and technically it was a misunderstanding. He thought he was in line for Hamilton tickets." "The camo is just fashion?" Miles raised an eyebrow. "It's kinda his thing." Rachel hadn't told her mom that Miles was vegan, or that he once did an entire comedy set titled "Your Grandma's Cooking Tried to Kill Me." She also failed to mention his small podcast, Gravy is a Lie. "Just smile, be charming, and don't say industrial agriculture. Deal?" The kitchen resembled the aftermath of a culinary tornado. Trying to be helpful, Miles had placed a sealed jar of homemade cranberry sauce on the stove to warm it. Moments later, boom! Cranberry puree decorated the ceiling, the curtains, and Grandma Ruth. Without flinching, she wiped some from her cheek and muttered, "As if going turkey-free wasn't enough, now we're dignity-free too." Patricia entered, froze at the sight of the red splatter, and went through 3 phases of facial expression: shock, rage, and managerial collapse. "We're 2 hours from dinner, and our kitchen looks like a Barry crime scene." Miles attempted a joke. "Well, it's definitely festive now." No one laughed, not even Google Home, which usually responded to anything. Dinner started late, with the table feeling more like a demilitarized zone. Rachel forced a smile, Miles tried to blend in. When it was time for toasts, Grandma Ruth stood and announced, "Life is about forgiveness, but I will never forgive lentil loaf." Laughter broke out. Even Patricia smiled. The air lightened. But when Aunt Karen brought up the spiritual energy of turkey, Miles couldn't help himself. "You seriously think a dead animal cooked with love brings luck? Is that gravy magic?" Silence. "It was a metaphor," Karen mumbled. After several forced bites of awkwardness, Patricia stood and declared, "We're having a talk, on the porch, now, everyone." Out on the porch, with glasses of wine and cranberry bits still in Grandma Ruth's hair, the family finally cracked open. Josh admitted he missed the family and felt alone. Stu confessed he wished people would listen instead of just laughing at him. Rachel shared she was scared of losing herself trying to meet everyone's expectations. And Miles admitted he wasn't trying to offend anyone, he just didn't know how to fit in. "So you're not trying to destroy our way of life?" asked Grandma Ruth. "I just don't like gravy. Is that a crime?" The next morning, Miles found a note on the countertop from Patricia. "Cranberry catastrophe accepted as the price of honesty. And your loaf wasn't that bad. P." They all had breakfast together. No drama, just jokes. And when Grandma Ruth suggested Miles name his next podcast, Gravy Will Save the World, they all laughed harder than they had in years. Sometimes to understand each other, you just need a little chaos and a lot of cranberry. Winter came fast, and cold wind played its melody through the windows of the Miller home. Christmas was approaching, bringing new adventures for the family. Patricia, now dubbed Peacemaker of the Year after Thanksgiving, was already planning an epic celebration. "This time, no sauce explosions," she joked while decorating. Miles, now fully part of the family, tried to keep things calm, though he still carried that infamous cranberry jar in his coat pocket, a souvenir. Rachel and Miles promised there would be no arguments this time, but reality, of course, had other plans. The first challenge? The Christmas tree. Uncle Stu insisted on a real one, claiming fake trees made winter colder, while Cousin Josh countered that artificial trees were practical and eco-friendly. The debate escalated into a full-on battle, with Science magazine quotes and internet memes. Meanwhile, Grandma Ruth decided to bake her special Christmas cookies, a family recipe passed down through generations. Miles helped, determined not to cause another kitchen disaster. Despite the bumps, the evening was full of laughter, shared memories, and warmth. Later, Miles suggested a game. Guess the family secret. Each person shared an outrageous or embarrassing story. Rachel recalled how Grandma once created a fireworks-like explosion with a turkey in the oven, nearly setting the neighbor's tree on fire. Uncle Stu talked about the time he accidentally set every Christmas light to max brightness and temporarily blinded Aunt Karen. Grandma Ruth, giggling, admitted that she sometimes adds a little bit of special spice to her food, just to keep things interesting. At the end of the game, Miles said, "This family is like a good sauce. A little spicy, a little sweet, a little tangy, but without all that, it wouldn't have any flavor." Smiles, hugs, a perfect ending. Sometimes love isn't found in perfection, but in burnt cookies, weird jokes, and cranberry-covered ceilings.